to say it's Two Girls, One Pod every week. I don't, do I? Because you know what? You know what you're listening to. So let's see from now on if I cannot say it anymore. Because you know who I am as well. Who are you? I mean, who really are you? My God, what an odd thing to say. I hope you're well, whoever you are. I really appreciate you listening to me because I have a podcast and I love my listeners and you're one of them. Thank you. I'm grateful that you keep listening. Let me know why. Send me a DM. Tell me why. Or an email. 2girls@novapodcasts.com.au. Let's talk about some stuff about what milestones for women have happened in the world. Something that came up the other day and it blew my mind, but of course, and then again, it didn't blow my mind because nothing surprises me anymore. I'm sure this will blow your mind, but at the same time, not surprise you anymore. These are some milestones for women that are a little bit more recent than they should be. These milestones should have happened a very long time ago. Unfortunately, they haven't. Did you know that women in Switzerland only got the vote in 1971? I was born in 1972, so that's only 52 years old. They got the vote. And why? Why 71? I wonder what happened in Sweden at that time. Switzerland. Well, they do have the three types of people in Switzerland. You've got the Swiss French, Swiss German and Swiss Italian. So has that got something to do with it? And Swiss are the neutral country in all the wars and all of that kind of thing. You know, there's a saying for you. Don't be like the Swiss. You're like the Swiss. You're neutral. I don't know why they took so long then. Maybe they just couldn't be bothered. A referendum of the introduction of women's suffrage was held in Switzerland 7th of February 1971. Only men were allowed to vote, and the result was that 65.7% voted for the introduction. So wait, women's suffrage was voted for by the men? Oh my God, it just gets better and better, doesn't it? I mean, do you ever just want to pull your hair out? You're going to really love one of the episodes coming up soon. It's with Summer Tothill. We talk about that because one of the questions I ask her is, do you have hope that things will change for women? And her answer is great. So that'll come at some point. 1976, we're going to just jump forward a little bit from 1971. Women in Ireland are allowed to own their own homes. 1976? All right, next. Girls weren't allowed to take geometry at school until 1987 in Austria. Scheiße, as they would say in Austria. That's Scheiße. That's Scheiße. 1987, geometry. I mean, what could women possibly do with geometry that is so bad that you would stop them from learning it? I didn't even know what geometry is. What is it? Shapes. Maths shapes. So why can't they learn about them? You know what I always just think when I think of geometry? What was the thing that you'd put with the pin in it and you put it, protractor, and you turn it and it'll make a perfect circle. That's geometry to me. So clearly I grew up in Austria before 1987 because I don't know much about geometry except for that, the protractor. And that used to give you a pretty harsh injury. That was the word I was looking for. Okay, it was legal for men to sexually abuse their wives in the UK until 1991. So we're even worse than the UK. We were allowed to do that a year more. Oh my God, it was legal to. That's why you couldn't do anything. You could not do anything. I remember my grandmother telling me about the sexual abuse from her husband. When he felt like it, she would just have to. And if she didn't, he'd kick her, literally kick her out of the bed. And there was one time she was in so much pain because she'd just given birth and she wouldn't, and he kicked her and wouldn't let her back in the bed. And she was bleeding, and I'll never forget. And you wonder where my anger comes from. I don't wonder, I know. 2006, an accurate description of the female sexual organs was finally included in anatomy teachings for the first time, 2006. And I think it was something like 1968 or 69, funnily enough, when they discovered the clitoris was larger than they ever thought. They thought it was just the little mound that we have, but it's like what they call it, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's massive, and it's got so many nerve endings inside that run all through our bodies. I mean, and imagine if they studied it. I was talking to Tanya Hennessy the other day, and we were talking about being a woman and endometriosis and all of I'm talking about peri, she's talking about endo, and we're just talking about how awful it is to be a woman. And I said, and they've only just started studying us. Imagine if they'd started studying us decades ago, how many treatments we would have. Like endo would be found really quickly. So many things would be found really. PCOS would be found much faster. There'd be treatments also, cures even. So it doesn't happen at all. But we've only just started studying women, and not just in that region, in all of medical research. Yvie, what milestones for women have you seen in Australia in your lifetime? Just bunging a question in there. First female Prime Minister. That's happened in my lifetime. I saw the first black woman win an Oscar. That's happened in my lifetime. No, they've all happened before I was born. Like I think about, like Hedy Lamarr, who invented Wi-Fi, and Lizzie McGee, who invented Monopoly but never got, still to this day. They even have a Miss Monopoly and they still haven't given her credit. These are all things that happened way before I was born. A woman invented the dishwasher. A woman invented windscreen wipers for a car. A woman invented that thing that goes under your car to have a look at the engine with the wheels on it. Women have invented so many things, so many things. It's brilliant how many things, but a lot of them have been contributed to men somehow. They've sent a man to patent it, and it had to be patented in a man's name, and it just stuck a lot of the time. Anyway, I've got a useful fact. This is a funny one. Sick as a dog. Because I say it all the time, sick as a dog. Where does it come from? A dog sick? Well, no, they're not. So why are we saying I'm as sick as a dog? Well, it comes from the 17th century when dogs carried sickness. A lot of animals carried sickness, like rats and birds and things like that. But why don't we say sick as a rat? Because they're still carrying it. But it was a dog, I guess, because dogs were friendlier, and you wouldn't befriend a cat or a bird or a rat, whereas you would befriend a dog and you could get sick from that. That's what I'm assuming, sick as a dog. Oh, you're as sick as that dog you were just playing with yesterday. Melanie Bracewell would love that accent. Speaking of Melanie Bracewell, she is on Thursday's episode, and wow, what a wonderful, incredibly intelligent, quick-witted, nice, kind person. Also, I just wanted to say about the dog thing. I've never understood the dog, like black dog. I hate that there's depression is called the black dog. And I think I've spoken about this before because Angie would have known about that kind of thing. Like people saying, oh, I got the black dog. Like I hate it. It's one of the hardest things for actual black dogs to be adopted because of. They're the last ones to be adopted. But also there's a whole institute, Black Dog Institute. Like, could you please change that? I mean, just call it the Depression Institute because that's what it's about, isn't it? A lot of people, especially in this country, say you're a dog as a negative. It implies that you've dogged me. To dog someone is to rat them out. Rat. I don't think rats would do that either, but dogs are the most loyal species in the world, only species that loves you more than you love itself. So why would it be a bad thing to be called a dog? I would love to be a dog or called a dog in the true sense of the form. You are such a dog. Like, oh my God, you are such a dog, and dogs are the best. But also an ugly woman is called a dog. Oh, she's a dog. Or a bitch. And a bitch is just a female dog that's still intact. As soon as that hysterectomy is done, she's not a bitch anymore. That's called the patriarchy. Oh, and that's me. I hope you got something out of that today. I feel good just talking it out. Melanie Bracewell on Thursday. We'll see you then. Well, won't see. I've got to stop saying see you then. Well, I'll talk to you then. Bye.